Two girls are playing hide and seek in the woods. One of the girls, named Janie, enters a little cave system and finds a doll with a porcelain face. She hears a noise, then she gets dragged by her feet by an entity. She goes missing and never returns. In the present day, Samantha is a foster teenager that is with her friend Emily picking out some clothes for Halloween. A fellow student at Samantha's school named Logan gives Samantha some completed schoolwork that Samantha had asked him to do. He asks them what they are doing. Samantha doesn't want to talk much, so she asks him to watch Olivia as they try on clothes. After trying on clothes, they stand outside the front of the store. A red-haired lady named Allison bumps into them as she walks through the group. Allison then stops to look at the music records at the front of the store. Logan tells the girls that she is weird and that she tried to burn their house down with her family and it a long time ago. Samantha and Emily start walking together and plan to go somewhere together, so Samantha lets Olivia walk home alone. When Samantha gets home, Olivia's father, Garrett, is not happy with Samantha for letting Olivia walk home alone. Liz, Olivia's mother, also reminds Samantha that they talked about her not doing this. The next day after school, Samantha and Emily walk home together with Olivia, but they want to go somewhere else, so Samantha asks Olivia again to walk home alone through the woods. This time, Olivia is not home when Samantha finishes hanging out with Emily. Samantha searches the house and then walks out to the woods calling for her, but Olivia is nowhere to be found. Later that afternoon, detectives question Samantha as she sits on her bed, and Garrett emotionally tells Samantha that he doesn't want to look at her or hear from her. Liz is crying uncontrollably. Samantha is racked with guilt. At school, Emily sits with her and comforts her. Logan knows better than to try and talk to her. That night, Samantha sits outside on a fold-up chair all night, not wanting to sleep in her bedroom. Liz comes out and says a prayer with Samantha for Olivia to come back and breaks down crying. She then goes back inside. Samantha falls asleep and then briefly wakes up when she thinks she hears voices. She looks around but sees nothing. She closes her eyes for a while. She opens them again, and to her shock and surprise, Olivia is standing a few feet away from her, expressionless. Samantha can hardly believe her eyes and hugs Olivia tightly, yelling out to Liz. Liz comes running out. They cry with happiness. They are completely bewildered that Olivia is safe and well. The next day, Garrett hands Samantha the garbage to take out to the bin, and he warns her that just because Olivia is back, it doesn't mean he trusts her. Samantha looks emotional and slams the garbage in the bin. That night, Samantha gets up and notices the back sliding door is open, and as she walks outside, she sees Olivia with her back facing her, looking out at the woods. Samantha asks if she is okay and if she is cold, but Olivia just shakes her head no. Samantha chats a little while with her and tries to see if Olivia will tell her what happened to her. Olivia doesn't speak much. All she remembers are the trees and the wind. The next day, Samantha hands Olivia a handmade mask she made from leaves for Olivia's Halloween costume. Samantha says to Olivia that she is happy Olivia is back. Olivia doesn't respond much, but when Samantha goes to shut the window, she tells her to stop because she likes to hear the wind. Later on during the day, Olivia is walking with Samantha in front of some stores and they come face to face with Allison. Allison looks nervous and then says to Samantha that Olivia is not what she seems. She suggests that Olivia is dangerous. In response, Olivia waves her hands up at her, pretending to have claws, and roars at her. Samantha tells Olivia that they should go, and looks at Olivia oddly for her behavior. The next morning, Liz informs Samantha that Garrett is working late, and she is doing a split shift, so Samantha will need to watch Olivia. Samantha is disappointed because she had planned to go out that night with Emily, because it's Halloween night. Samantha lets Emily know at school that she will not be going anywhere tonight, and Emily is angry with her, saying that they will never really be her family, feeling hurt that she chose them over her. That night, Samantha is watching a Halloween movie with Olivia, and she becomes slightly disturbed that Olivia is laughing hysterically through the gory and scary scenes. Trick-or-treaters come to the door and Samantha gives them candy. When Samantha comes back to Olivia, Olivia asks her if they can go out. However, Samantha says her mother won't let them. Instead, Samantha offers to play hide and seek with her. Samantha starts counting and Olivia runs off to hide and turns off all the lights as she does. Samantha makes her way into Olivia's room and looks under her bed. She sees a teddy bear's eye under the bed and goes to return it. As she looks up at Olivia's dresser drawers, she notices every single one of her plush teddies and other toys has their eyes pulled out. Samantha starts to feel disturbed and tells Olivia that hide and seek is over. Samantha walks back out to the kitchen and sees the back sliding door open and rolls her eyes, knowing that Olivia is trying to scare her by hiding outside. Samantha tells Olivia that it isn't funny anymore and there is no hiding outside allowed. Samantha walks into the woods again to find her and to her surprise, sees a young girl standing there. It is Janie, who has been missing for decades, but Samantha doesn't know who she is. She asks if the girl is okay, but Janie walks off without saying anything. Samantha walks back to the house and sees Olivia with a smug look on her face on the fold-up chair. Olivia says she has won. Samantha is mad at her because she deliberately tried to scare her like that after she went missing before. She tells her it's time for bed and to go inside. The next day at school, Emily is still not talking to Samantha. Jordan walks over to Samantha and tells her that he will no longer be doing her homework papers for her. She will have to do them herself. He turns to walk off and then Samantha makes conversation with him, asking him if he went to the dance, but he says he didn't bother to go. She tells him that it could have been great, and he laughs. The next day, as Samantha is cleaning up in the yard with Garrett, the next door neighbor informs them that her dog has been missing since Halloween night. This is the same little dog that Olivia had been poking a stick out vindictively a few days ago. At dinner time, Samantha says grace for dinner. Olivia kicks her hard in the shins. And when Samantha tells her to stop, Garrett tells Samantha off instead of Olivia. Later, when Samantha and Liz are doing the dishes, Samantha tries to ask if Liz has noticed something different about Olivia. Liz becomes defensive and just says it's because of what she went through, and that she will get better. Samantha can't get rid of her sense of unease about Olivia, so she visits Emily to talk about it all. Emily shrugs it all off like it's just Olivia acting weird after being lost in the woods, and then they reminisce about past times. Emily leans in close to Samantha and kisses her on the mouth longer than it is comfortable for Samantha. Samantha tells her that she must go. On the way home, Samantha sees Janie in the woods again. Samantha follows her and Janie directs her to where the next door neighbor's little deceased dog is. Its eyes are missing. Samantha goes back home and takes Garrett back to show him, but the dog is no longer there, only a white patch as if something had been laying there. The next morning, Samantha makes sure Olivia is not in the house and goes to her room to look for clues explaining Olivia's strange personality change. In the top drawer of Olivia's bedside table, Samantha takes out the diary she lent to Olivia. As she turns around to leave, Olivia is standing in the doorway and Samantha explains that the diary is hers and she is taking it back. Back in Samantha's room, she looks in Olivia's diary and the only disturbing entry is when she said she saw the older, scary lady who made her feel bad. Samantha thinks Olivia is talking about the lady they saw out the front of the shops who made those negative comments about Olivia. She rings Logan to ask him who she is. He replies that her name is Allison Marcus and that she tried to burn down her family's home. Samantha ends the call and then looks up on the internet about Allison. She finds the old newspaper snippet about Allison that says she set fire to her house to stop an impostor. At school the next day while they are jogging, Samantha asks Logan if he knew that Allison had a sister named Janie that went missing, which he didn't. She explains that Janie went missing in the woods just like Olivia did and came back a few days later. So, when Allison tried to burn down the house, she said she was doing it because she was trying to protect them all from an impostor like a forest creature. Therefore, Allison would know what has happened to Olivia. Samantha knows that Allison residents nearby, and she tells Logan that she is leaving the school grounds to talk to her. Jordan hesitates for a minute and then follows Samantha. Allison is cautious when she opens the door, but when Samantha pleads with her to talk to her about Janie and needing her help with Olivia, Allison lets them in. In Allison's house, her walls are covered with drawings of eyes, and hanging everywhere are photos of children. She explains that children have been going missing in those woods for decades. She retells what happened to Janie. When Janie came back from the woods, she slowly faded day by day, and her soul was trapped in the woods. She reveals what she believes is responsible for this. They are called hollow people. They must hide their identity, but they take over the children. Samantha tells Allison that she has seen Janie in the woods, but Allison refuses to believe her. That it's not really her. She passed away many years ago. Her advice to Samantha is to run away before the thing that has taken over Olivia in their home turns everything and everyone against her. After Logan and Samantha leave Allison's house, they are at a loss for what to say, but Samantha goes to the woods with Logan and remembers how Allison said they dug strange holes in the woods, and there are secret passageways only they know. Samantha wants to find them. They walk for a while and then sit on a log. Samantha says thanks to Logan for helping her and he leans in to kiss her, but she backs away. Samantha tells him that he should go home. He reluctantly walks off. As Samantha heads the other way, she sees Janie again looking at her. Samantha asks Janie questions, but she won't answer. Samantha gets frustrated with her and tells her to say something. Logan appears behind Samantha and asks her who she is talking to. Samantha says no one, and suddenly comes up with an idea. She asks Logan to help her pretend in front of the creature that has taken over Olivia that they have found the secret passage, to trick it into following them. When Samantha gets back to the house, she deliberately talks on the phone in front of the fake Olivia and says to Logan she has found the cave, and tells him they will meet there tomorrow and that Allison told her where to go. Out of sight, Olivia is listening down the hall. That night, Olivia heads out the back door and into the woods. The next morning, Samantha can't find her phone anywhere. When she gets to school, she doesn't notice Logan. Emily comes up to Logan, who is watching Samantha, and tells him that Samantha doesn't let anyone in. Emily tells Logan that Samantha once had a sister named Grace. Their mother was a lowlife who stayed out partying, and one day never came home to look after them. Eventually, the neighbors noticed the mail piling up, and when they found the girls, Samantha was not in good shape and Grace had passed away. After school, Samantha's teacher and a detective want to speak to Samantha in private. The detective gets out her missing phone and explains that it was found at Allison's house, which was on fire last night, and he wants to know why it was found there. Samantha is shocked and explains that she was home all night with her family. Meanwhile, Logan is walking in the woods following the fake Olivia. Samantha desperately tries to ring him, but he doesn't answer. Logan starts to hear noises and singing from all directions and gets out the knife in his backpack. He becomes frightened. Olivia jumps on him from behind and bites him, drawing blood on his neck. He puts his hand up to his neck and falls backward down an incline in the forest while still holding the knife. Back at school, Samantha asks her teacher for a drink of water while they wait for her parents to get there. When her teacher leaves to get her water, she sneaks to the door and hears the detective in the school hallway questioning Garrett and Liz about Samantha's behavior. Liz defends Samantha, but Garrett says that she has been acting strange. As he says this, Samantha runs for the exit, but her teacher blocks her. Her parents catch up to her as well as the detective. They all stop her from leaving. Samantha urgently tells them that she needs to get to Logan because he is in trouble. She keeps fighting against them and finally tells them that Olivia will eliminate him and that she is a monster. Meanwhile, in the woods, Logan wakes up to see that he has severely broken his leg and can see his leg bone sticking out at the bottom of his kneecap. He looks over, horrified to see Olivia, who is not looking normal. Her eyes are black and there is blood covering her mouth where she has bitten Logan. She smiles at him as she picks up and drops random rocks to choose which one will be the best to eliminate him with. She picks up a large, elongated rock and approaches him with it above her head, ready to hit him with it. She raises it higher and then hits him hard. Later, back at home, Samantha tries to explain to Liz and Garrett that the girl is not really Olivia. Her foster parents do not understand, and then Olivia is seen standing in the doorway. When Samantha sees her, she asks her what she did to Logan. Olivia says nothing but just stares at Samantha. Samantha becomes infuriated and goes running at her, but Garrett stops her by pushing her back onto the lounge. Liz takes Olivia to her room, and Olivia acts completely innocent. Back in the lounge room, Garrett says to Samantha that she will wait in her room for the social worker to come, and he says to her that he knew taking her in was a mistake. Samantha stands up to face him and tells him she knew it was a mistake too. Samantha goes to her room. Later in the evening, Liz comes into Samantha's room and Samantha is visibly afraid. Liz sits on the end of Samantha's bed facing away from her and reminds her of when they first met. Liz becomes emotional and tells her that she really wanted to help her, but she doesn't think she can help her anymore. Samantha reads on her bed for a while and looks up to see Olivia standing in the doorway. Olivia is sinisterly smiling at her and picks up the picture that the real Olivia drew and rips it in half. She tells Samantha that she likes this life and that Olivia can stay buried in the woods. She then mentally puts Samantha down, telling her she is broken and that she is only made for broken things. She gets closer and closer to Samantha, and Samantha reacts by stabbing Olivia in the top left part of her chest. Instead of flinching, Olivia stares back at Samantha and grins wide. She yanks the scissors out of her chest and wipes her blood onto Samantha's shirt. She then grabs the scissors and swipes at Samantha's arm, causing a long cut. Samantha reacts by pinning Olivia's arms and straddling her on the bed. As this is going on, Garrett and Liz run in to see Samantha on top of Olivia, and they yell at her and pull her off Olivia, saying they will call the police. Olivia acts innocently like she is the victim and cries. Samantha runs out of the house, into the woods, and goes to Emily's house. She bangs on her door, and when Emily opens the door and asks her what has happened, Samantha hugs her tightly. In Emily's bedroom, Samantha lies on the bed on her side. Emily comforts her and suggests they run away together like they always talked about. Emily tells Samantha to wait in her room while she gathers things to get ready to run away. Samantha waits for a while in Emily's room and then calls out to her when the lights go out and she senses that something is wrong. Samantha starts to walk out of Emily's bedroom and into her kitchen. Because she is frightened, she walks very slowly and accidentally slips on something wet on the floor. Samantha lands on her backside. Her hands also go into something wet. She reaches her hand to the torch and turns it on. She shines the torch onto her wet hands and on the puddle below her and realizes it's blood. Samantha shakily lifts the torch and sees Emily sitting up against the wall. Her eyes have been removed. Standing next to her is Olivia, holding her eyeballs in her hand. Her eyes are black, and she growls at Samantha. Samantha gets up and runs back into Emily's bedroom. Olivia chases her there and jumps on top of her, and tries to push a large knife into her forehead. Olivia laughs and Samantha fights with all her might, holding onto Olivia's hands and holding the knife away from puncturing her. Out of nowhere, Allison grabs onto Olivia and pushes her into another room, shuts the door, and pushes her back against the door to stop Olivia from getting out. Samantha is surprised to see Allison alive, and Allison says she has been in hiding and watching what has been going on. Allison urges Samantha to find the real Olivia in the woods, and then the thing cannot hide its identity anymore, and if she does that, just one look will eliminate the evil entity. Allison hands Samantha Janie's plush rabbit toy. Samantha runs back out to the woods holding the plush rabbit, hearing Allison yell out in pain. Samantha walks further and then hides behind a tree, sitting down against it. She cries for a few minutes. When she opens her eyes, she sees Janie standing a few feet away facing her. She says to Janie she is so sorry they couldn't help her and then hands Janie her rabbit plush toy. Janie tucks it under her arm and gestures for Samantha to close her eyes. Samantha rips the sleeve off her shirt and turns it into a blindfold to cover her eye. Janie then holds her hand and leads her to the secret passageway. It is a hollow at the base of a tree. Samantha begins to climb into it and follows it down as it turns into an underground cave. She walks on further to discover Logan's body. She whimpers as she reaches down and grabs a flare out of his backpack and then walks on past him. Meanwhile, back at Olivia's house, the fake Olivia is hiding her bloodied clothes in her closet. Liz comes in to check on her and the fake Olivia turns around to face Liz, acting innocently. Back in the underground cave, Samantha walks on and comes to a large open area with what looks like a mud house shaped like a tree trunk. There are parts of human skeletons over it, but then she sees Olivia's face in the middle of it. Olivia has her eyes closed, but when Samantha calls her name, she opens them. Back at Olivia's house, Liz is sitting on the end of Olivia's bed, facing away from the fake Olivia, because Samantha has found her real sister. The entity can no longer hide its form and it turns green and horns protrude out of its head. It puts on the leaf mask that Samantha made for Olivia for Halloween. Liz can hear the weird noises it is making, and she turns around in horror to see that it's not Olivia. It instantly tries to attack Liz and Garrett comes in and tries to protect Liz and himself from it. Back in the cave, Samantha reassures Olivia that everything will be okay and that she is safe now. She tells her that the entity can no longer hide. Just as she says this, the entity appears wearing Olivia's dress and has on her leaf mask. The evil entity rushes over to Samantha and pierces her through her upper chest with its long, sharp claws. Samantha tries to push the entity away and then swipes the mask off its face. Samantha tells Olivia to run. The entity grabs Samantha by the ankle and drags her around the corner into another area. It stands Samantha up and pushes its hand up against her neck, telling her this place is no place for broken things. Samantha thrusts the flaring torch she has in her hand at the entity, and it instantly backs away. Samantha strikes the flare until it lights up, and the entity starts to scream and make noises of various people it has copied and taken. Olivia can't see what is happening, but hears a long, blood-curdling scream. Suddenly, Samantha walks out in a daze and walks over to Olivia and hugs her. Meanwhile, Garrett and Liz are walking in the woods calling out for Samantha. Samantha and Olivia are out of the cave system now, and Samantha is carrying Olivia in her arms in the woods. Olivia calls out to her parents, and Olivia walks up to her parents and they hug her. Garrett and Liz look over and see Samantha walking over and they hug her too, and tell them both it's time to go home. Olivia looks over at Janie a few hundred yards away, standing there with her rabbit plush toy. Back at home that night, Olivia walks into Samantha's room and tells her that she had a bad dream. Samantha invites her up onto her bed and Olivia cuddles up to Samantha. She tells Samantha that Samantha came back for her, and Samantha tells her little sister that she will always be there for her.